Wow, our first swarm. Had a friend call me and said, "Hey, look what's in my tree." And sure enough, there was a small swarm there. So I asked if he wanted me to come help him get them, and he said, sure. So I racked my brain trying to figure out everything I needed to take. And as usual, I missed all I needed to take. So this is a story about what we did to capture the bees. And here we go. Well, when we got there, I noticed really how small both the tree and the swarm was. So we got the hive butler, I pulled the limb down, and we just basically shook the bees into it. I had a friend get their cover ready so we could put the lid on it pretty quickly so that the bees wouldn't fly away. And we set it down there. And at this point, I'm trying to figure out what's the next step to do. The bees got back up on the tree, and so we felt like we needed to try to shake them down one more time. Had I had to do it over again, I would have asked if we could cut the limb off. But again, being the first swarm, it was something new to me, and I was trying to think as I went. So we thought, well, let's shake them one more time and just see what happens. So we shook them. At this point, I'm looking, there's also a lot of comb on the area there where the bees were lighting, which is kind of unusual. I've never heard anybody talk about a comb being made there on a bivouac location, which is this temporary location that the bees typically choose. So it's almost like a permanent location. So, well, we'll shake what's left. And at this point, I'm trying to figure out what in the world to do. I had some family at home, so I thought, well, let's just leave the bees right here and see what happens. And I'll come back later and pick them up.
The bees will come down and land on it to get the queen.
So I went back home, saw my family off as they were heading back, and picked up a nuke box, which is what I should have taken in the first place, and a couple other things. So when I got back, I set up the nuke box in front of the hive butler and opened the cover, and sure enough, the bees were all across the top. So then we started the process of getting the bees into the nuke. So at this point, I decided to set the nuke up with the hive butler close in so I could hopefully get the bees to crawl in. And if you notice here, there actually are crawling in the entrance of the nuke. If you look closely, you can see some of the bees flapping their wings and trying to spread the pheromone from the queen, hopefully the queen, but at least from their own Nasanov glands, into the other bees to call them to come. And they did. Looked one more time, and sure enough, at the beehive there were more bees. Well, now I took them home. We picked the nuke up and the hive butler and brought everything back home. You can see I had an area set up here where I could plant the bees. The nuke was already there from a previous attempt to hive a swarm. You can see I've already placed the feed there, which they needed to be. This is kind of some more still shots of just the area where I keep the nukes. You can see in the hive butler there's still some more bees there. So I'm going to leave the hive butler there so the bees can hopefully crawl out and get in there. You can see there's quite a few bees still on the outside there, and still some in the nuke, but they are flying around, and it's getting late in the day, so I really anticipated that they would just fly on in to the box. Well, interesting experiment there, this first swarm. Hopefully I have a chance to do better later. I really appreciate you watching. Please subscribe if you would, tell others, and catch us next time. Thanks for watching.